Thank you very much. Senator Lazarus.
Am I on? Yeah, now I am. I'm voting to abolish the RSRT and the order for two reasons. Owner-drivers need the right to run their businesses their own way, because every business owner needs this right. Owner-drivers are being forced to charge higher freight rates, which is pricing them out of the market and sending them broke. I've spoken to a lot of truck drivers, owner truck drivers, over the last couple of weeks, and they are very concerned and very worried about their future. We've seen, in fact, 2 weeks ago I was at a trucking rally convoy in Brisbane, and a young man came up to me and said, "Look, I don't know what I'm going to do. I only purchased this truck a week ago, and now they're telling me that they don't need my services on Monday." So I'm hoping that young man is listening, because hopefully in the very near future that this will be only a nightmare and he can get on with his work and get on with what he loves doing and what he's passionate about, and that is driving trucks. I believe that truck drivers, owner truck drivers in particular, are the very fabric of this country. If they stop, this country stops. And I'm absolutely horrified about what this tribunal has handed down in the way of an order, where it quite clearly is not a level playing field, and all this does is benefit the big end of town and of course the TWU, because what will happen, Mr Acting Deputy President, is that owner truck drivers will get that desperate that they'll have to sell their trucks at a very minimal price. Then they'll have to sell their house because they have to pay off that debt. Then they'll be looking for work, and of course the first place they'll go, because all they know is driving trucks, is they'll go to the big transport companies. And of course, if you want to become a truck driver for one of those big companies, you have to be a member of the TWU. And that's exactly what they know, and it's exactly what they want. We're indebted to the trucking industry. They provide, particularly in my state of Queensland, where it's such a vast, wide-ranging state, the owner truck drivers transport goods and services around the state without question, and they do it because they love doing it. I've met, as I say, a lot of truck drivers, and one of the interesting ones, I can't remember their last names, but it was Angelo and Leanne from Brisbane. They had a dream, Acting Deputy President. They had a dream that at some stage they would own a truck and they would see this wonderful country that we live in via that truck, and obviously transporting goods and chattels around this country. And their dream came true. They did end up buying the truck, and they're absolutely loving what they're doing. But of course their world was rocked a couple of weeks ago on the 4th of April when an order came in to say that they now have to charge more rates than what the big transport companies have to do. And so business dried up, and they were in a state of disrepair. They didn't know what they were going to do or where they were going to go. In fact, at the rally I was at a couple of weeks ago, there were quite a few men and women who were actually in tears, sick to death and sick of worry about what their future holds. I'm sure the RSRT was set up with good intent, and in fact only last year, I think it was, I actually voted to keep it established. And now I've apologised, and I've apologised to the people. I've apologised to the people of Australia, and admitted I was wrong, because I thought it was put together with good intent. But I was clearly mistaken. Clearly mistaken.
Order. Clearly
mistaken. Absolutely mistaken. And a couple of weeks ago, I made the comment that I do apologise for my My actions when it came to voting to keep this RSRT established, I was clearly wrong, but it was with good intent that I voted for it. But today, we sit here in this building, owner truck drivers are going broke across the country. Mum and dad truckies are losing their trucks, their homes, their families and their lives. In Queensland, Mr Acting Deputy President, last week, Queensland is in mourning. We lost a truckie by the name of Adam Caton due to the compounded stress that this RSRT had brought upon him. And I absolutely send my sincere condolences to his, bit of respect, Senator Singh. I send my sincere condolences to his family and friends at this difficult time. We all agree, I think, that we need safer roads. We all agree Australians need a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. And the intent of the RSRT order was probably good, as I've said, but the order in its application has resulted in unintended consequences. It has resulted in the decimation of an entire owner-driver trucking sector. The issue now is a complete mess, and we need to abolish this tribunal and the order today, right now, without further delay, because there is some 35,000 owner truck drivers in this country, and all of them are in limbo, not knowing what their future holds. The funds from the tribunal, I think anyway, need to be directed to the National Heavy Vehicle Regulator, and the Heavy Vehicle Regulator needs to be given more teeth. Even though the trucking industry is one of the most heavily regulated industries in this country, I have no doubt that the owner truck drivers absolutely love their trucks with a passion. I've seen well over 300-400 trucks in the last couple of weeks, and every one of them immaculate. You'd swear they'd just come off the showroom floor. We also need to develop an industry code of conduct which should sit with the ACCC to ensure there are fair trading and business practices across the industry. We need the code of conduct to ensure that the big boys don't take advantage of the mum and dad trucking businesses. Owner drivers, and this is only a fair thing, I think owner drivers deserve to be paid within 30 days, not 90 or 120 days, and they deserve to be treated fairly. The RSRT order regulates the victims in the industry, when it is the big boys who should be regulated. Now, I've met quite a few owner truckies, and their trucks, as I said, are immaculate. They care for their trucks like their treasure. They're passionate about what they do. They drive trucks, they own trucks because they are passionate about what they do and they love doing what they do. And they are kept to a high standard, and they are safe. They are safe. Over 80% of trucking accidents on our roads are not the fault of the drivers. They are the fault of cars and the drivers of those cars. If we look across our communities, owner truck drivers are responsible for many initiatives, including, and we've just seen it, the Burrumbuttock Hay Run and the Convoy for Kids Cancer. I was in Townsville late last year and joined in the carnival. Hundreds of trucks, 80-90% of them all owner drivers. Not trucks from big transport companies, but owner drivers. 80% of the trucks in the Burrumbuttock Hay Run are owner drivers. Owner drivers are the heart and soul of our country. As I said, I think they're the very fabric of this country. They keep us going. They do the jobs that need to be done that the big companies won't do. You know, we've heard the example now when we've debated this issue with Farmer John wanting a couple of head of cattle taken up the road. The truckie will do it for $150. Well, now he has to charge $748 to haul those same cattle. Absolute disgrace because of this order. They donate their haulage for the charity initiatives that need to be supported. They do much across our country, and today we need to do something for them. We need to give them back the right to drive their trucks on our nation's roads, because that is what they do best. That is what they're passionate about. That is what they love doing. I'd like to just take a couple of minutes of your time, Mr Acting Deputy President, to thank some people that I've come across over the last month or so in regards to this issue. I'd like to send out a special thanks to Rodney Chant. Rodney Chant is a Queensland truckie who has worked tirelessly with me and many other truckies in Queensland to see this mess resolved. Absolutely loves what he's doing, loves working in the industry. He loves the mates, the friendships that he's created through his truck driving, and he was absolutely shattered by this order. And I would certainly like to thank him for the hard work that he's done in helping this Parliament abolish this ridiculous order. Would also like to thank Kylie Robinson. Now, Kylie is part of the Trucking Support Agency in Queensland, and I'd dearly love to thank her and her husband's tireless work in supporting drivers. Kylie was keeping me up to date with all the hearings and all the committee hearings and things, and wherever I turned up for a trucking rally, there was Kylie front and centre, making sure that everything was running smoothly. I'd also like to thank Di. Di is a part of Trans Help, and I'd also like to thank Natasha Ship of Lights on the Hill Trucking Memorial for your wonderful work in supporting truckies across Queensland and ultimately across this country. My commitment to the trucking industry and all the owner truck drivers is that I will abolish the tribunal and the order, and I'm now seeking the support of the Senate to achieve this. And I want to do this because I just want the owner drivers to know and to realise and to continue to do what they absolutely love doing, and that is drive their trucks, and so they can get back to work.